What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back with another post January 2020 Banlist deck profile. Saying January 2020 is kind of actually difficult to say. So I am bringing you guys a post Banlist Altergeist deck profile, and the reason I'm actually doing this is I know Altergeist didn't actually get hit or didn't get necessarily buffed directly from the ban list. However, this is actually, I think, one of the top 5 contenders in the meta now. I think this and Guru are going to be really good, these backrow decks, and this is because Red Reboot went to 1 and Pankatrops went to 1. So not only did they hit cards that made this deck not that great, but it also buffed this deck because now the other decks in the meta are not that great. So if you guys enjoy these profiles, make sure to let me know by liking this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment something down below even if you'd like. That'd be really appreciated. If you guys have any suggestions, obviously, let me know in the comment section down below. First thing we're starting off with is 1 Multi-Faker. Obviously, it's at 1. You need to still play the 1. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Then we are playing Triple Marionetta. This is your best normal summon, in my opinion, in the deck, other than Milaseek. So Milaseek and Marionetta are your normal summons, and they're probably your best normal summons. If you guys don't know what these cards do, if you guys are just newer to the game or just coming back in, I know this deck is kind of old technically now, so I should explain to you. Milaseek is really nice because 1, you can link it away into Linkaribo, which will get its effect to search you an Altergeist card, and you're going to want to search your Multi-Faker off of that, right? Marionetta is really good because Marionetta sets a trap card directly from your deck, which means that it actually can't be Ash because it doesn't add to hand. That's why you have to play the 3 and 3. I think these are the best normal summons. Then for the rest of your Altergeist, you're playing 2 Silkwoodus as well as 1 Concrete. I don't want to play more than 2 Silkwoodus because drawing it is not that great. Concrete is a good one of, mostly because you can search it, but you don't necessarily want to open it and see it in your hand too often because otherwise it doesn't do anything. You need an Altergeist card on the field for this to be even live, so you most of the time want to search this. I've seen builds that actually run 2 to 3 to like turbo this card out so to control your opponent, but I don't like that build in my opinion. I don't like playing multiple of these just because I think the 1 of is good enough. You can search it when you need it again with Milaseek, so you'll get to it when you need to get to it. And I'm still playing the 1 Sangan. Now I don't want to max out on Sangan. I know Sangan does search into your Multi-Faker, which is really cool, but with Milaseek still at 3, obviously I don't think we need to be doing that because this is obviously going to be able to search this. Playing Sangan actually makes it so that you have a lot of normal summons in the deck because these 6 are your best normal summons, so you want to actually be normal summoning these a lot of the time. But it's like worst case scenario, if you open the Sangan instead of one of these, then you can normal summon the Sangan, make it into an Almirage, then use Sangan effect to search your Multi-Faker. But otherwise you don't want to have too many normal summons in the deck because you don't want to open like 3 normal summonable monsters and then not do much. So you want to keep this monsters deck count as low as possible. The only other monster I'm running is 3 Ash Blossom, and I just think it's one of the best hand traps, obviously because it's the most generic. Otherwise you don't even need to be playing the Ash Blossom. I think one of the more spicy hand traps in the format is actually Joel and Lockbird. I think it's one of the best ones in the format, low-key. I'll explain that when I get to it. I am playing it in the side deck, not in the main deck, just because Ash does hit rogue stuff and just hits a general like 70% of the cards in the game right now Ash hits or something like that. So that's why I think Ash is just better because it's just more generic. But Joel and Lockbird is one of the more spicy hand traps in the game. This is it for the monster count though. It's all you need. I don't think you need to up any of the Altergeist counts. I think this is perfect. And then of course Ash Blossom is the 1 hand trap. You can substitute this if you want for another hand trap if you guys don't have your hands on Ashes, but I feel like they're easy enough to have now. So this is it for the monster lineup. Onto your spell lineup. The only spell card you're playing is 3 Pot of Extravagance. Don't get me wrong, I know Secret Village is a really good spell card and I really wanted to play Secret Village. There's actually ways to play it, and just in this build specifically I'm not playing it. We have to see what the meta actually shapes out to be, but I think you don't need the Secret Villages right now because again, what decks in the meta other than Hero I guess are using a lot of spell cards? Not too many in my opinion. Hero obviously wants to use E-Call, a Hero Live, something like that, but otherwise it's like it's not worth playing. But if we had, for example, another Striker format, which obviously Engage at 0 means we're probably not going to have another Striker format, but if we had another format like Striker, then you could play the Secret Villages, right? But here, because we don't need that, I don't think we need it for this format. Obviously we have to see where the format shapes up to be. I think the Extravagance is the only spell card you need just because you need to draw through your deck. I don't even play Duality in this. I just want to max out more on trap cards, and I'd rather see my trap cards than see something like Duality, right? So Extravagance is the only spell card I play, and it's the only one that I want to see. I want to draw 2, and then that's all I want to do. So onto the trap cards. I am playing obviously a lot of trap cards because like I said, when you play too many spell cards, and the reason I didn't play the Dualities and whatnot is because every time I saw it, and in testing this worked out for me perfectly, because every time I saw too many spell cards I was like, okay, I really wish this was like a warning or a compulse or something like that. So that's why I decided just to up the trap card count. So 3 spoofing, 3 protocol, and 2 manifestation. I think this is the best ratio in my opinion. Spoofing is really good because you get all your extra Altergeist monsters in your hand, Altergeist cards in general, back into the deck to search you whatever you need, whatever monster you need. Spoofing is really good because it actually just gets all of your extra Altergeist monsters and extra Altergeist cards in general back into your deck. And then once that happens, then you can get to your monsters. Obviously, this card can be Ghost Ogred, and it can also be like Ash Blossom. Ghost Ogre, I don't think you have to worry about necessarily this format. Ash is the only thing that really hits this now. So I still think you want to max it out on 3. Another card you have to max out, in my opinion, on 3 is 3 Infinite Impermanence. It's, I think, one of the best hand traps in the format. I should have included this with the hand traps, but this and Droll and Lockbird are really going to be really good in my opinion. This also allows for like the turn 0 plays, where if you're going second, you can activate this from your hand to negate one of your opponent's monsters and activate Multi-Faker right away. So that's a really good plus. So that's why I think Imperm is one of the better cards. I am playing 3 Compulse as well. I think Compulse is going to be one of the best trap cards in the format. The reason for this is you can target one monster on the field, doesn't matter if it's set or like face up, and just return the target to your hand. So this is really good against even something like Guru, and this is why I wanted to play this, because this allowed me to obviously counter some of the meta decks and like something like Hero, for example, right? Because I think Hero is also going to be meta. So this obviously lets you counter some of the combo decks, but it lets you also counter Guru, because if you use this against like a set Guru or one of the set monsters in the Guru control decks, then what happens is they've already used their summon for that turn, and then they're just stuck on like 3 to 4 card set, right? And so this is going to essentially keep them resetting, and they can't gain too much advantage with Compulse. So this is really good against both combo and now the control decks. 3 Heavy Storm Duster, I think control decks are going to be really good, and backward decks, like I just said, Guru and Geist are going to be top 5 for sure, maybe even top 3. So that's why I decided to max out on this. Obviously, if the meta changes and we don't see as much, you can cut this down to 2, but I think at 3 it's perfect right now for what everyone assumes the meta to be. I think this is going to be really good. And lastly, for your solemn cards, I am playing 3 Judgment as well as 3 Warning. Yeah, Warning came back to 3, and I didn't want to play Strike because Protocol is actually just like a pseudo strike for you, so I didn't want to play Strike and Protocol, and I was like, okay, I lose to something like Denko, I lose to something like Border, so I was like, okay, you know what, Solemn Warning is one of those cards that I can just stop the normal summon. As soon as I stop the normal summon, it's good. Now obviously Judgment can stop a normal summon as well, but if you open like a Warning and a Judgment, right, and your opponent normal summons Denko, you can Judgment it, but why Judgment it when you can Warning it for half the life points? Instead of 4,000 life points right away, you can pay only 2,000, and Judgment stays live always, whereas this doesn't, so you'd want to use these first. Now let's say these were strikes. What happened was you would open the Judgment in a strike. You can't strike your opponent's Denko, you can't strike your opponent's Border, so you have to Judgment it, and then right away you've lost 4,000 life points, and now one of these cards is less relevant than it was before. So that's why I think the Warning at 3 is actually amazing. I think it's actually better than Strike in this deck, just because Protocol is a thing, and Protocol is basically your pseudo strike. So that's it for the trap cards, and that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, you are playing triple Altergeist Hextia. It's one of the best cards in your extra deck. You obviously are playing 3 because of Extravagance, and you don't want to banish all 3 because you pretty much go into one of these at least once a game, and sometimes even twice a game. So triple Hextia, one of the best cards. Triple Link Karibo, I think this is also pretty self-explanatory. You need this for your Milaseek to go off, because you can link away your Milaseek into your Link Karibo, get then the search. So triple Link Karibo, because you do need to see it, and the thing is with Extravagance, again, you don't want to banish all of them. So triple Link Karibo. I am playing 2 Salamangre Armorage. Sorry for proxying one of them. I'm getting one more, trust me. I just didn't have it on me right now. But so double Armorage. The reason you play 2 is for the Sangan. Again, if you Extravagance, you don't want to lose both of them. So like I played 2 just in case you hit the one of them, and it's like, okay, well, Almirage is still live, or Sangan is still live, because you can still make Almirage. Then I'm playing double Nightmare Phoenix, as well as one more Nightmare Unicorn. These are just more utility cards. They're actually not horrible to make, because in the side deck you are playing Mind Control, so they are generic monsters that you can make after like going second and whatnot, because then you can Mind Control your opponent's monster and then make these Link monsters. Same thing with Cypher Mode Lambda. It's just another card that's a generic Link 2. This could be any generic Link 2, honestly. It could even be like a Nightmare Cerberus if you wanted it to, but just a generic monster that you can make. 2 other cards that I am playing is 1 Borreload as well as 1 Borrelsword. Obviously Borrelsword helps you OTK, but the reason I play Borreload, I know Colossus is gone, but Borreload is still really good because I think something like Cosmo, those like random rogue Dark Destroyer like can't target it effects, then Borreload actually helps you out that. So that's why I think Borreload's important. And then lastly, we are playing 1 Ultimate Falcon, because I am playing Waking the Dragons in the side deck, and Waking the Dragon is actually a very spicy card and very good card right now. So that's why I think Ultimate Falcon is really cool to make off of it. Now, if you banish this, it's okay because it's a one-off. So let's say you banish this off Extravagance, it's okay because you can still summon these off of Awakening the Dragon, right? That's why you don't need to summon the Ultimate Falcon, but if you do still have this in your extra deck, it's really good to summon off of your Awakening the Dragons, right? So 1, 2, 3 are targets for Awakening the Dragon that you essentially want to be summoning, and then this is very hard for your opponent to out, unless they somehow make one of these. But again, with Orcus not as prevalent anymore, it's not as easy to just make Borrelsword like with 1 card or 2 cards anymore, right? So Ultimate Falcon is very good for the Awakening the Dragon targets. I forgot to mention that Clara and Rushka I'm not playing anymore in the extra deck. The reason for that is because I'm not playing Secret Village anymore, but Clara and Rushka is really cool if you end up playing the Secret Villages instead. You can actually put this in for like maybe one of the Nightmare Phoenixes, just because this makes your Secret Villages live. Instead of making Milaseek into Link Karibo, you make Milaseek into your Clara and Rushka, right? So that's the only reason you would play this. Otherwise, like, I'm not playing it right now because I'm not playing Secret Village, but if you are playing Secret Village, I definitely recommend playing one Claire and Rushka. Moving on to our side deck, I am playing Triple Nibiru. It's the best card against the combo decks. Again, Hero and Spiral I think are going to be pretty good combo decks. So going second, you need something to counter it. Triple Nibiru, as well as Triple Droll and Lockbird. Now, let me explain Droll and Lockbird real quick. The reason I think this card is really good is because heroes do a lot of searching. Guru, low-key, does a lot of searching, because you can even do this after the Extravagance, and then they can't use their Hidden City search, they can't use their Guru search. Guru does a lot of searching, and Droll stops Guru, stops Hero going second as well, because Hero does a lot of searching. Spiral does a fair amount of searching as well. So Droll and Lockbird is actually really good in this format, in my opinion. Being able to just shut down your opponent with one Droll, it could be really good, right? So this is obviously in testing still, but in theory, this card sounds like it's going to be really good, and I think this card could hit multiple decks in the format, and that's what you want to do with a side deck, have the same cards hit multiple decks, so that this can be sided in for like 2 to 3 matchups, right? Rather than just one specific matchup. So Droll and Lockbird I think is really cool. I am playing the 1 Pangatrops. Obviously it is at 1, and if you draw it, it's really good. So 1 Pangatrops I think is kind of still cool. I mean, I don't know if people are going to start cutting this. They might start cutting this. Maybe play a Kaiju or something. I'm not sure, because like Kaiju's at least like get around a negate, because you can just, you know, Kaiju your opponent. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I think Pangatrops is still really good though against, like, again, going second against Guru. If they make a board, you can special this. It's still a threat, right? It's just a 1-of though. That's the only problem. 2 Mind Control. I mean, I would be playing this at 3, I'm telling you right now, if it was still at 3, but of course the ban list hit it to 2. Still a really good card. I think you need to be playing it. Going second is very important. One of my favorite cards to side in now is through Triple Awaken the Dragon. In theory, this is going to be really good, because if a lot of people are going to start maining Heavy Storm Duster or maining Twin Twister and whatnot, because they're afraid of the back row decks like Guru and whatnot, this going first gets really good, because it gets cards out of your extra deck, baits your opponent to popping a card then that you don't actually neg when they hit this card. So it's like, okay, like I really like this card. I think it's really good. Obviously you can get ashed, because technically it says you can special summon from your deck, but the thing is, it's one of those cards that's like, okay, so now let's say my opponent uses a Twin Twister, pops 2, right? And let's say one of them is the Awakening the Dragon. So they hit the Awakening the Dragon, they have to discard a card. So they've used Twin Twister and discard a card. If they want to ash this, they can ash this, but that's 3 cards out of their hand just to out this card, basically. So that's why I think Awakening the Dragon is really cool, siding in, going first. Playing 1 order just because it could be relevant in the future in like with the meta. 1 Unending Nightmare. This card again is just for more back row heavy decks. Going first, I'll side this in just so I can pop stuff. And then lastly, the 1 Reboot. Now I know it's at 1, but you still have to play the 1 in my opinion. There's no way you can cut the 1 of these. These are very important as a 1-of. Okay, so that's it for the deck profile. If you guys enjoyed this deck profile, please let me know by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. 10,000 is the goal for 2020. I know we're still early, but 10,000 is the goal for 2020. I think we can hit it. If you guys would make any changes to this deck, let me know in the comment section down below. I think the deck is like works fine. Obviously, we don't know exactly how the meta is going to form yet, but from assumptions and from what people think are going to be the better decks, that's how I built this deck, essentially to beat, like, you know, the top 5 that we think is going to be top 5. So like Hero, Spiral, Guru, Geist, and Salamangreat. So this deck essentially is built to beat like stuff like that. Obviously changes can be made as the format progresses, but we'll see where it goes from there. This is just right away post banlist deck profile. I've been working on these because I want to get them out to you guys as soon as possible. I still have a few more that I got to do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. With that, guys, Spanko signing out. Peace.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy. I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit.